Hi there, thank you for joining us. My name is Adam Brown from Deakin University and I'm talking to Juanita Alvarez today. Thank you very much for joining us, Juanita.
No problem, thank you for having me.
No, it's great to have you here and we're going to talk about a lot of things, but I guess the best thing to do at the start is to ask you who you are and what are you doing at the moment?
So, my name's Juanita and I'm studying my Bachelor of Arts and doing two majors, drama and media communications. And I'm working a couple of jobs and doing an internship at the moment, so that's basically what I'm doing.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Now you've studied all year in units that I've been putting together around digital media, being active online, engaged across lots of different platforms, making media in different ways. I wonder if we can talk a little bit about your experiences in those units to give the context of what else we'll talk about. Particularly, I suppose, the first unit, which was called Exploring Digital Media, where you were part of a gamified system where I was allocating tickets based on online activity, and to be blunt about it, you broke my system faster than, probably less than halfway into the trimester by collecting all the digital badges and making me think, what else am I going to do? Can you tell us a little bit about your experiences, what you did in that unit?
So basically my thought process is when I saw that it was gamified, I was like, this is really cool, and I was really intrigued by it, and I decided, okay, I might as well put all I want into it because I've really found the content interesting. I wanted to blog about it, I wanted to tweet about it, I really wanted to kind of build my portfolio. I didn't kind of feel like I was pushing myself though, it felt effortless, like writing about the content and making it a bit more creative seemed so much easier than having to do 2,000 word essays. It was so much more fun. And in terms of the breaking the system, I didn't really think of it as it that way. Like I didn't purposely spend my time and effort going, okay, if I do this and I get this amount of points, I'll break this and I'll get all these badges. I kind of just did everything at my own pace and wanted to make the most out of the content.
Which is kind of I didn't even think it was possible, to the idea of breaking the system and getting to that point. So what you were doing basically, were having microblogging, blogging, making video content, and you were doing all this kinds of creative stuff. A lot of it was on your own initiative because it wasn't mandated, and that's part of, I guess, the key to what you're very quickly finding is the key to success. You sent out a tweet earlier on this year saying, I can't remember the exact words, but it was basically like, I got turned down from an internship based on my lack of online presence.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about that and then what you're doing now, because you have since come into an internship. Can you tell us what that is and how you got there?
So I went for an interview at Get Glossy and they said to me, on paper I look like a great student, but I didn't have examples online. I didn't have that kind of presence, and that's why they were kind of like, well, we can't accept you, maybe reapply next time. And I didn't have enough there for them to go, okay, we want her. So then when I had the opportunity in 203 to kind of go, all right, well, this is my chance to build my portfolio, to set up my blog, I kind of thought this will be really helpful for me. Maybe I can reapply there or even apply for another internship. And coming into 205, I went online and applied for a bunch of internships again, and I got one at Creativity Australia. And the first thing they said to me was, it was so easy to access all of your stuff. Like my About Me had linked to my blog, and they read heaps of my blogs, and they were talking to me about my selfie blog. They thought it was funny that I had a picture of the Queen there in it. So that was cool. And they loved how my LinkedIn also had some blog posts and things like that. So they just liked that it was so easy to see all my work in the one kind of click away kind of thing. And that's how I pretty much landed into that internship.
Yeah, and you provided the initial links to them, I imagine, as part of the application process. But if you didn't, they may well have Googled you and tried to find it, and at least been able to find it.
With Get Glossy, they asked me, if we looked you up on Facebook, is there anything that you'll be a bit nervous of us seeing? And I kind of thought, I don't know. And I kind of panicked a little bit because I was like, oh, what about if they do Facebook me and there's something there that they find? So a lot of the stuff that we did on online identity, I kind of went, okay, I really need to think about what, when they Google me, what comes up? What would I rather them see? And I've now edited it so I look like the most professional person in the world. So yeah.
Terrific. Yeah, no, that's great. And can you tell us a little bit about your experiences in the current internship, or have you wrapped that up now? It was recent.
I've still got another couple of months with them. So Creative Oz is a non-for-profit, and Tanya is the CEO, and she runs Creativity Innovation. And Creativity Innovation, they kind of have charities that help raise money for choirs. They're social inclusion programs. So people go to these places and kind of feel like it's a community base where they can get together and perform and all that kind of stuff. So we are trying to promote and raise money for these choirs. And through doing that, I do all their social media. I've been creating EDM campaigns. I pretty much use Buffer, Canva, and all those kind of sites to keep up scheduling and editing programs. Answering phone calls and getting coffees is also part of it. But yeah, it's just pretty much keeping up to date so I can help make the most out of their charity. Yeah.
In terms of your aspirations, you were telling me, this is really where you see yourself potentially going in the future as well. And you've strategically been thinking about, what have I got to do for uni, and how could I actually make it relate? Because I remember you did a fantastic video. One of the first times I saw you, because you weren't in my seminar, is through a video. You kind of did a bit of a rap video with a peer. We might actually have a look at that now.
Hey ALC 203, it's Daniel and Juanita here. Considering this week is Digital Activism Week, we decided to look into activism in our own interest, performance.
Growing up, I thought I needed to be a queen bee, but that wasn't me. I created a new net so I could connect to a place where I can belong. That's what I needed all along. I dispersed the doubt and the hate because people discriminate and don't treat you equal. On this road of discovery, I realized I could be free from the puppetry, expressing my individuality while maintaining a positive mentality. So programs like Cultural Infusion, Signal 37 and Wild at Heart, I just named a few.
They're programs that help kids of disadvantaged backgrounds express themselves through performance.
Which is something me and Daniel love to do.
So my video with Daniel was, it was kind of like a play on another project that I did when I was performing. So it's a different aspect now. So now I'm kind of doing the marketing for social inclusion programs, but back then that rap was written while I was a performer. So it's kind of different to be in that different position, I guess. Like it's strange, but I kind of want to work around being able to promote these programs because they're so fantastic, and having my performance background, and not coming from like a great VCA kind of arts background, it's kind of like I want to help the underprivileged performers feel like they do have creative potential. Like you don't need to have Leonardo DiCaprio kind of talent, there's so much more than just basic acting and singing. There's a lot of ways to be creative.
Given that everyone is essentially performing online, being a good performer is key, and I guess that really brings the synergies between the two majors, which look on the surface very distinct, media and drama.
Everyone always questions me, like, why? Like, why are you doing drama and media? It's so weird. And I was like, leave me alone.
I always loved performance in school, and I did a lot of that kind of thing, and I've been able to bring it back into my job. But the first time I started to think about the really valuable intersection of those majors is when, a few years ago, it's probably 3 or 4 years ago now, I had a student who was doing those two majors, and at the end of that unit I was approached by WTFN, a small independent sort of television, not so small really, that do a lot of TV shows, and they said, we don't know, Adam, we've been contacting you every month for an internship opportunity with students, but we want paid work. We want someone to do some paid work for us in front of the camera, and they had behind the camera stuff too. They wanted a performer, a presenter for one of their shows, and it was going to start online, and who knows what it would turn into. And I thought, well, this student who I just had, the only student I'd ever had that I knew of that was drama and media, several years ago, I thought, I've got to contact this student, and I couldn't. Because she wasn't online anywhere. Everything had been deleted from the unit. There was no Twitter profile, there was no YouTube channel video, the fantastic video that was made. Everything was gone. And I couldn't get in touch with this student, and who knows, it could have been the opportunity they had been waiting for. And it could have made their life and redirected their entire career pathway. What you found is that being online, having the portfolio there, being visible, is absolutely key to being a performer and being in any kind of, leading yourself into any industry. And you've already seen the value of that, which is great. You were telling me a few things before, and I wrote down a couple of phrases because I didn't want to forget them. The current unit you're doing is very much about students building the unit as much as the teachers spoon-feeding content, which I'm very much against. And the flexibility of that is really intimidating. As soon as you come out of high school and you've had these really firm essay topic questions with, maybe more than 2 answers, but sometimes not many more than that, and you're asked to make something. Here's a broad topic area. Here's no area at all. Decide what the areas are. It's really scary. But you said something about flexibility before and making a statement, and what you're finding in these internships that really shows the industry relevance of having a lot of flexibility. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I get freaked out when I don't have barriers either. I'm not completely, yay, I can do it all and all that kind of stuff. But you need to be able to kind of give yourself a challenge as well, and that helps you learn what your barriers are and what new skills you have. So when I was at this internship, I had to do, everyone was sick, and I still came in. I was like, okay, they just emailed me just do this, this, and this, and have a go at this, and maybe do something that covers a little bit about this. And I was like, okay. So I kind of just went for it. I made a blog post, I did another video for them, I did a bit of Snapchat around the city, and I got a volunteer team set up, and I started to work on another program to help us do all this kind of stuff. So I just ran it on my own. I was like, okay, we'll see how this goes, and at the next meeting they can either yell at me or go, yay. And it worked out fine. They were really happy with everything. So I guess you just kind of got to go, well, I can either sit here and not do anything and not challenge myself and just kind of wait for someone to instruct me what to do, or you just gotta, well, I know the basic skills, I know what needs to be done, maybe I should just try something. And it's just about not letting yourself feel nervous about failing. I think that's what everyone gets a little bit scared about. It's what about if it looks bad, or if it turns out really bad? It's but it could be fantastic,
Or if it doesn't work, you learn something that you're going to do better next time, saves you time next time.
You can always link back to something oh, wait a minute, I could use that little aspect of this. And you never know. You got to just try it.
Exactly. Yeah, you learn by doing. And the scariest thing is not so much even, especially at university, when you get the flexibility. I say the scariest week after 11 weeks of a trimester is week 12. Because it's what do you do now? And over summer, what do you do? And upon graduation, you're not going to have anyone giving you even portfolio relevant assessments. How do you keep upskilling, being a lifelong learner, engaging with the world, keeping in touch with all these developments of virtual reality, augmented reality, everything that's happening? That's a real challenge, but it's also a challenge for people in industry. It's just the people who are moving forward and up and beyond in industry are those who are acknowledging that they constantly need to renew. And it's great to see that you've got not only that sort of message from your studies, but you're seeing that related to your internship work experience already.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny because I always used to think I need a little bit of structure, because being a drama student, even the whole phrase trust the process put a lot of pressure on performers to get a show done in 12 weeks. But because of that kind of experience as well, I'm kind of used to letting things flow, because I'm very instinctive. Once I feel something will work, I have to try it out. I need to kind of go, all right, I feel like this could work. I want to work on this idea, and I want to develop it and see where it goes. And it's just about trusting your skills and always wanting to further them and kind of things like that.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, it's all about confidence, initiative, and creativity.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time. It's great.
Thank you, Adam.
Thanks for watching.